Hello and welcome back into This Week in Movies. Took a little week off for the 4th of July. Celebrated a bit. Hope everyone had a good weekend. There's a lot to get into this week. So let's jump into it with the man of the hour. Hollywood, when you need an opinion on something when it comes to Hollywood, there's only one man you turn to. And that is Stephen Dorff, who earlier this week just unloaded on Marvel, the MCU, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, the Academy Award. He just went scorched earth on everything. It's incredible. So let's see what he said here. I still hunt out the good shit because I don't want to be in Black Widow, the True Detective actor told the newspaper. It looks like garbage to me. It looks like a bad video game. I'm embarrassed for those people. I'm embarrassed for Scarlett. Sure, she got paid $5-7 million bucks, but I'm embarrassed for her. I don't want to be in those movies. I really don't. I'll find that kid director that's going to be the next Stanley Kubrick, and I'll act for him instead. So let's take a look back at Stephen Dorff's illustrious auteur filmmaker-filled IMDb profile here. Let's see what we got here. Best known for Blade, which is a Marvel New Line release. Immortals, where he played Stavros in 2011. Felon, where he played Wade Porter in 2008. And Somewhere, where he played Johnny Marco in 2010. We also have, let's see here, True Detective. He was in that. We have Leatherface, where he played the deranged sheriff. We have a couple video game adaptations a little earlier on in his career. If you loved Alone in the Dark and his performance as Commander Richard Burke, or maybe you remember Mike in Fear.com, where the website will kill you if you go to it. Or Cold Creek Manor, his unbelievable suspense thriller with Dennis Quaid and Sharon Stone, I believe, in 2003, that is currently sitting at a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. I don't understand. I like... It's okay if Marvel movies aren't your thing. I mean, Stanley Kubrick, or not Stanley Kubrick. Look what Stephen Dorff has done to me. Martin Scorsese had a whole war against the MCU and its fans, saying that they weren't real movies. So like, people can say that. Dude, Steven, you aren't angling. Your best role when you type in Stephen Dorff, almost everything that comes up is Blade. Everyone knows Blade. Well, now it's him talking about Black Widow. So I see what he's doing there. It's good marketing. It's crazy to me. Clearly he does not want to return with the Blood Tornado. Deacon Frost, I guess, will have to be recast in the upcoming Mahershala Ali Blade, I guess, which is a bummer. Because, when I think superhero movie, the premier authority on all of them is Stephen Dorff. So, Tiffany Haddish is filming a movie with Nicolas Cage right now, which in and of itself is an incredible sentence. But there's a story she told about how she was able to get through to Nick Cage that absolutely has to be seen and heard to be believed. So first off, let's look at the headline here. Tiffany Haddish credits Nicolas Cage with her first orgasm. I'm sure, a lot of people do. The Cage, he was all the rage back in those 90s, those late 80s, early 90s. I'm sure. So, okay, so talking to NPR about it, she said, "It was my first big O. It was a debate," she said, of her inner conflict about sharing the anecdote. "Should I tell Nicolas Cage this? This is inappropriate. I don't want him to hit me with a sexual harassment claim, but I have to tell him." And it says she opted to spill the beans when she realized her awkward vibes were beginning to tarnish her favor with the National Treasure hero. She said, you could tell he was getting irritated, and I was like, "Look, I'm really intimidated by you, and I need to tell you something." And she explained that as a 17-year-old, she and her boyfriend went to a nearly empty theater to see Face Off, the unbelievable John Travolta, Nicolas Cage sci-fi face swap action opus. Says during the viewing, she began making out with her date, and their lovemaking brought Haddish to climax. When she opened her eyes, Cage's steely stare was the first thing that she saw beaming at her from the big screen. As I was achieving a momentous moment that I had never experienced in my life, Haddish said, laughing, I opened my eyes, and the eyes of Nicolas Cage are looking into my eyes, super big. She said the steamy memory came rushing back to her when she came eye to eye with the Snake Eyes star in person, which also, incredible pull here to just be like Snake Eyes. So we've got Face Off, National Treasure, and Snake Eyes referenced here. Unbelievable that those would be the movies that you would pick out of the illustrious filmography of Nicolas Cage. So now I'm standing across from this man with those same big old eyeballs, and all I can think about is how the guy I went to the movies with and how we were making out. Luckily, Haddish's admission broke the ice between her and Cage, who she claims laughed super hard at the titillating tale. I can't believe it. Like, it's incredible. It's incredible that that would be his reaction, to just laugh. Like, do you think that's like a top 5 weirdest thing that anyone's ever even said to Nicolas Cage? Like, I can imagine that he's probably like, oh, this old story again. Tiffany, come on. Let's be professionals here. Like, I would have paid any amount of money to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Also, we can only hope that it's like one of these scenes from Face Off, right? Where he's got these like gigantic eye, like he looks like he's going absolutely crazy here. Like, there's no other, like, I can't imagine it being just a normal stare. Like, it would be just so fitting if, you know, she opens her eyes and it's just this face staring at her on a movie screen, and she's like, oh man, I'm never gonna forget this. Hugh Jackman, the cheeky Australian devil that he is, has the internet and Marvel fans in particular in a tizzy, because he started posting a couple things on his Instagram story this week. So let's see what we got here. He posted this poster from Boss Logic, which is just Wolverine's hand with the claws, the trademark claws. Then he posted this picture of him with MCU head honcho and producer Kevin Feige. So Hugh obviously has said many times before that he's done with the role. He retired it after doing Logan. And Feige has said that Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is like one of his like top MCU priorities. So something has to give, right? Like one of these two, like this, obviously this could all be trolling. It could just be because Hugh has had his trolls before. Ryan Reynolds has famously said he wants Hugh as Wolverine in like a buddy team up with Deadpool. And like, I don't want to get my hopes up too high, but like, this is the missing piece. Like, the MCU is the biggest movie franchise in the world now. It'll be the biggest movie making franchise for probably years to come now. I don't know what is going to rival it in popularity unless it's other superhero movies. But bringing Hugh Jackman back into the fold, like if he comes back in with the quality of film that Marvel continually and consistently puts out, like, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day for X-Men fans. It's going to be a good day for Wolverine fans. Like, I really hope that this isn't just him being, you know, cheeky Hugh Jackman. Like, I hope that there is going to be something to this. Somehow, after less than a week in release, Amazon has confirmed that the Tomorrow War 2 is already being worked on. It's Chris Pratt and the director, Chris McKay, are both in talks to return, but, you know, pretty clear they will. You can't really do a sequel to the movie and not bring, I mean, you could, but, you know, that never goes well. I just think it's funny because like this movie is like 30 minutes too long, specifically so they can put an ending to it. Like specifically so it's a self-contained story. So I am fascinated to see how they do this. Is this like the Tomorrow War where it's, you know, further in the future and they're like, guys, you're not gonna believe this. the aliens are back. They're back and they're different now. Like, I'm really curious. Like, obviously it means that the movie probably did really well. I think they said millions of people watched it the first day. It's just, I'll be really curious to see what happens with this, how fast this gets pushed out, what it could possibly be. Let's see. So it has a 4 out of 5 stars on Amazon currently, which definitely Amazon's not cooking the books on that, right? Like, Amazon is totally on the up and up with that rating system, I'm sure. And I mean, they paid $200 million for it. So if that is their money back, then hey, that's cool. I don't know if this qualifies as movie news, but it broke my brain a little bit here. So Amazon and IMDb TV reached a new streaming rights deal with Universal for the rights to movies like Jurassic Park, Dominion, and Fast 9, and the big tentpole Universal movies. The problem is Universal already has Peacock TV, which is their streaming service. So this deal was announced, and apparently this is like just how it goes, but this blew my mind here. So this is what it says. It says, for the Amazon side of the deal, Universal's blockbuster titles like Jurassic World, the 355, and Ambulance will debut on Peacock before heading to Prime Video 4 months later. The pact also includes the animated slate. Then, after 10 months, it's going to revert back from Amazon to Peacock. I don't understand. So Peacock gets it for 4 months. Everyone watches it. It gets switched over to Amazon. Everyone watches it again. Goes back to Peacock after 10 more months. Like, it's just interesting. And they paid so much money to get that. Like, I'm sure they paid hundreds of millions of dollars for the rights to 10 months of these movies. Like, he was probably like, yeah, I've heard this before. I was filming Captain Corelli's Mandolin with Christian Bale, and he came up to me and he said, Nick, I have to tell you something.